that. There are a number of other issues I would have with some of the comments you have made, but I think I have to focus on the crucial one here, because it is not correct. And I know we have privilege in these houses, but we really shouldn't be saying things which are not correct. And in that regard, the Minister has again made the same statement that the Senior Minister said, that the bill is compliant with Aarhus. But the bill is not compliant with Aarhus. And that is not my opinion. That is a direct statement from the body who are delegated by all the parties who signed up to, who have been allocated the task of interpreting the Aarhus Convention by all of the parties who signed up to the Aarhus Convention. And they explicitly, I'm reading paragraph 47, and there's again a somewhat disingenuous suggestion that there was a draft report. Let's be clear. The document here that I'm holding up that came in June, early June, to the government, is not a draft report or a draft compliance report. Ireland already failed on a compliance report, not a draft, a finished compliance report, found that Ireland was not compliant. And what we have here is the progress review. How is Ireland doing at addressing the fact that they are not compliant with Aarhus? It's not a matter of opinion or, let's have general statements, or, it's not even some of the discussions before UN bodies that Ireland has come out poorly from. This is different. This is a progress report in relation to Ireland's non-compliance, decided and clearly determined by the Compliance Committee with Aarhus, and how Ireland is doing at addressing that gap. And how Ireland seems to be doing is, we're literally denying it. So I'd like the Minister to actually clarify, why does he think we are compliant when the Aarhus Compliance Committee does not think we are compliant? Why does he think this legislation? Does he believe that the Aarhus Compliance Committee are wrong? Does he have access to some different legal opinion that somehow trumps the Aarhus Compliance Committee, who have been asked to interpret the Convention by all of the countries, including, and indeed bodies such as the European Union, who have allocated that power to the Compliance Committee? Why is the Minister saying that he's compliant when, and I'm reading paragraph 47, again, not of their draft report, of their progress review in relation to a previous finding of non-compliance. And I would point out, the reason that they've only spoken about this one chapter is not that the rest of the bill is fine. It's that they were only asked by the Irish government themselves to give an opinion in relation to this one chapter. So the committee were explicitly asked, look at this chapter, we think it's great. And the committee came back and said, in light of the above considerations, the committee does not consider that, if enacted in their current form, proposed sections 133 and 1352B and D of the Planning and Development Bill 2023, that's this bill, would fulfil the requirements of paragraph 4A1 of decision 78I. That's the decision on non-compliance. So they are completely clear, and they're naming the sections of the bill and saying that they do not fulfil the requirements of compliance. It's really clear, Minister. Now, it's one thing to say we're going to fix it at report stage, but to actually just, have the kind of audacity to stand and say that you're compliant when you're not, that's pretty poor and pretty wrong and quite disrespectful, honestly, to the House. So I suppose I'd like to have the Minister clarify. Is the Aarhus Compliance Committee wrong? And is the Minister and the Government going to be happy to stand over that? Because that's going to create significant issues internationally. Is the Minister, what I expected, and I still wasn't adequate, was that we would be hearing from you how you plan to fix it. And again, saying how you plan to fix it at report stage rather than fixing it when it's a known problem at committee stage is inadequate. But it is different than actually denying it. And again, being really clear, this isn't a draft, it isn't an opinion, this is a direct progress report on a finding of non-compliance. So, and I want to just really emphasise this again, the rest of the bill was not checked. They checked this one chapter, found it to be non-compliant. But here's the point. Many, many, many civil society actors, Irish Environmental Network and many others, and indeed many opposition members in the other house, were telling the minister for months that there was concerns about the compliance. And the government continued to believe that they were compliant, then they were found not to be. So I guess the point in relation to the other issues around Aarhus throughout the bill is Minister, you've got it wrong. You've got it wrong on this one issue that has been tested by the Compliance Committee. So maybe you need to actually listen to those who are telling you that they think you've got it wrong in a number of other areas as well. Because when you get it wrong, you don't get to bludgeon over it. You create chaos. You do exactly what we're claiming we don't want to do in terms of planning, in that you are creating a situation of absolute legal chaos. And then I suppose the idea is, well, we'll try and stop anybody taking cases against the illegal thing that we're doing that's breaking the law. Like, that's not a solution. The solution is you get the legislation right. And actually, that's what leads to less cases. Rather than blundering ahead with legislation which is wrong, and then meanwhile, trying to kind of run interference on anybody who might call you out on it in the courts. So, Minister, I'd like you to just explicitly clarify in terms of Aarhus why you believe it's compliant when the committee responsible for compliance have been explicitly clear to you just a month ago that